Hello, welcome to Native Yoga Center. My name is Todd McLaughlin. Today, let's work on our Bakasana, aka Kakasana. Just to clarify any confusion, there are two differences between Kakasana, which is crow pose, and Bakasana, which is crane pose. Kakasana is crow, where we practice balancing with the elbows bent. Bakasana is crane, where we practice with the arms straight. And so Kakasana, crow, is officially the one that you're going to begin with. And from crow, we can slowly, eventually, with practice, build it up into the crane. So let me give you a couple of different tips and tricks and ways that you can work on this pose. This is a really fun pose, and it's a great way to start to arm balance. It's one of the primo beginning arm balance poses. It's a gateway pose to being able to practice a lot of different arm balances. One of the key factors in the Kakasana, in the crow, is hip flexion, ability to bring the knees close enough to the elbows. So if we don't have enough hamstring flexibility to be able to touch our knees on the elbows, then the first place we need to start is working with Padahastasana, standing forward fold, or in Malasana, which is very similar. Like Malasana, being able to put your arms on your knees like this is very similar to what we'll do in the Bakasana, where we practice balancing on our arms here. So these two poses really are kind of the gateway to being able to learn Kakasana, crow pose. So let's start here. One of the main fears that folks have is that I'll crash and land my face on the floor. It's a valid fear. So what you can do is put a blanket here, so that way if you were to fall forward, you would land on a soft surface. That's one option. Another way that you can start to practice learning how to get the feet off the floor. Well, actually, let me show you something before we use the blocks. The idea to lift your heels up, to bend your elbows. Now, another way that you can start to learn this is to put your elbows on the inside edges of your legs. Watch the difference between these two knee and elbow alignment positions. Here, I'm practicing Kakasana, crow, by resting the elbows on the inside edge of the thighs. Here, I'm going to practice the crow with the kneecaps on the back of the arm, on the tricep, really close to where the knees touch. So those are two things that are worth exploring. The ability to come onto the arms with your legs on the outside edge, and the ability to put the knees on the back of the arms, not have them slide and tip forward. Now, the next thing we can learn is, really down dog is one of the best ways to start learning arm balancing, where you practice putting pressure on your arms. So as we can see, the Bakasana has that similar sort of down dog hand position, and typically we'll want to be about shoulder width apart, so you have good alignment of your shoulders above your wrists. The other element, that when you lean forward, start with one foot in the air first, so that you can just practice one foot, then practice the other foot. Good. Now, another good way to start to build the upper body strength that will be indicative of what you'll need for Bakasana is to start off with the replication of the straight arm position that you'll have in Bakasana, and practice lifting your heels and just leaning your body weight forward onto your hands like so. So this is a good way to start to learn how to build the strength for this by straight arms. Rock weight forward, shoulders of the wrist, touch your knees up onto the arms. Here I have them on the back of the elbows. And this will give you a really good upper body strengthening prep pose for learning how to push down and lift into the full Bakasana. All right, another option. Let's see here, we have blocks. So what you can do to help get the feet a little higher, again, this will feel a little scarier if you're worried about having your face plant. Here we have the blanket ready to go. So now I have my hands in positions. If I put my feet up on blocks and bring the knees on the elbows, I'm very, very close to the full position. Just lifting the feet, the toes a little off the blocks. So this is another way that you can approach coming in relation to the Bakasana, where we attempt to do with the arms straight. This is a little scarier, I guess. But one way you can do this is to set yourself up with your feet on a chair, your hands on the floor, and practice holding here with your knees up in your armpits. So this requires a fair amount of strength. So you got to make sure you have the strength there to start. But that can give you a sense of having the feet higher, the knees up on the back of the arms, and your arms straight. All right. So now that we have broken down a couple of methods, let's now practice. And we'll see how long we can hold together. Let's start off with a Bakasana position. And just try to hold it as long as you can. If you come out, take a little break. If you want to come out, come back in, come out, come back in, you can do that. All right, and we'll do one Bakasana, crow, and then we'll try for one Bakasana, whichever version you're able to pull off. All right, here we go. Bakasana, crow, lift up, and just try to hold the strength on your hands. Keep your fingers wide enough that you can press your fingers firm against the floor. Try to touch your big toes together and have your feet off the ground. And while you balance, pick a focal point, a drishti, and hold your vision on that one point. Let the knees rest right on the back of the elbows. Use your core, squeeze your belly in. If you try to take your toes together, bend your knees a little like you're pulling your heels up towards your hips. Practice holding a nice, firm, strong shape and maintaining the balance of the arms until the point where you feel like your arms, they're going to give way, in which case you can come out. Good. Now, another thing to be aware of with the wrists is that sometimes when people are new practitioners, and it takes, you start practicing the crow and you feel like my wrists hurt. It's important to build the strength gradually over a long period of time. So maybe don't hold it for as long, but try holding for a little bit every day. And then another great way to do is get your phone out with the clock on it, with the timer, and time 5 seconds. Set the timer the next day for 6 seconds, and then on and on and on. As you build your strength, you'll be able to hold longer, and your wrists hopefully will start to improve in their overall mobility and strength and be able to support you. All right, now for the Bakasana, more challenging, more pushing, less leaning, more lifting. It is a challenging pose. So let's give it a shot. I don't plan to hold it as long as I just did. All right. So either do your crow again or put the knees on the back of the arms, let your elbows bend, lift your feet, and then try to lock out your elbows while holding. Now here, if you need to use the chair, you put your feet up on the chair. Remember, if you keep your feet on the floor, you can work on holding your balance with your feet on the floor and just try to lift your knees up really high, up into the back of the arms. Woo-hoo, and hold your Bakasana. All right, I hope this tutorial helps. And remember, leave a comment in the description. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. We appreciate it. Comment. We love it. If you have any questions, let me know. Every Thursday, I'm here, 11:30 a.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Eastern, giving a free tutorial. And check out every single Friday. I offer a new podcast with a yoga teacher, bodywork specialist from somewhere around the world. Episode 224 coming up tomorrow. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Let me know. And I'm wishing you a happy yoga day.